Welcome to Talk Show Promise Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. Today we have two important guests. One is Chartered Accountant Dr. Jamaluddin Ahmed. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
And other is Mr. Mosttafa Shazzad Hasan. He is also Chartered Accountant and Forensic Expert. And today we'll talk on transparency, financial transparency in Bangladesh. These very important topics, and we believe you will be benefited from the talks coming from the very mouth of these two important chartered accountants. Mr. Jamaluddin Ahmed, how do you analyze and explain financial transparency with reference to Bangladesh?
Okay, thank you very much. You have given me opportunity to talk a very important and vast thing. It's a very big thing. Financial transparency. Financial transparency, this means the transparent in a glass. When you can see that everything is clear, then this is a transparent glass. So in that case, in the management of the public and private sector management, how the financial operation is going on, that reflects in the financial transparency things. This is the key pillars of the financial transparency will be and accepted to be the disclosure and reporting, regulatory oversight, corporate governance, auditing and assurances. You can ask me that what is the economic rationale? The economic justification is that the attraction of the foreign direct investment, if you have got the good and transparent financial accounting system here in Bangladesh, financial reporting system, auditing is properly guided in line of the international standard of auditing. Financial reporting is done in line with the financial reporting system guided by the International Accounting Standard Committee.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Mosttafa Shazzad, Dr. Jamaluddin Ahmed already explained from his own standpoint. How do you view all these things?
Thank you, Mr. Sinha, and I would like to thanks for inviting me in this special program. And I would like to say, in reference to the learned chartered accountant, who also economics, also Mr. Dr. Jamaluddin said, actually there is two sectors if we're talking about financial transparency. One is the public sector and another is the private sector. Firstly, if we talk about the public sector and transparency in public sector, there are two types of expense or two types of accounts or two types of transaction taken place. One is the revenue expenditure of government, like government salaries and other things and government day-to-day expenditure. And another side is the project expenditure. So if I say impartially, actually there is no financial transparency or very minimal financial transparency in public sector, because in most cases in public sector, the expense and including the development expense and revenue expense in both sides, it is doing by any government agency like CPA, Comptroller of Auditor General Office and others, and they are internal auditor as well as. But for having an independent impartial audit, there are some precondition. First thing is, the authority should be independent. There should not any conflict of interest between the auditor and auditee. So there is no audit taken place at all, because AG office is the agency of government and they are doing their job as day-to-day regular expenses, whether all process has taken place or not. They are not independent at all. So actually they said that it is audit, but in professional perspective it is not an audit. It is just a checking of a process flow.
Well, thank you very much. It is not an audit in true sense. Dr. Jamaluddin Ahmed, then what is audit?
Audit is a function done by the independent people. Accountancy profession has got into taken the birth of accountancy profession was for that. Accountancy profession, professional accountants, they do the audit independently. Where their independence is interrupted, in that case, there also it goes to like the public sector one. If they cannot maintain their independence, in that case they cannot, whatever findings they bring out doing the auditing work, they cannot report it. So if they report it, their audit will be cancelled. Next time they will not get the appointment. This is called, in the accountancy language, this is called auditor shopping. They shop to another auditor. They go to change
like a purchase of a service.
Purchasing of service. They go to another auditor because this is my balance sheet. You sign it or not. If you don't sign it, then you will not be staying next year. Renewal will not be there. So he surrenders. In many cases, many people bound to surrender. And this is to ensure that government established Financial Reporting Council now. So we want to see that it is created, I think 4 to 5 years has gone already expired. And in the preparatory process, I used to work with them and they have done it, I think, whatever they have done it following the international practice. Say, Public Accounting Oversight Body. That one is they audit the auditors' status, because whether these agencies are doing well, the public sector, private sector auditors, what they do under the Institute of Chartered Accountants, are they doing the right job? That's why the Financial Reporting Council, they supervises that.
You are the president of Chartered Accountant Association in Bangladesh, more than one term. At the same time, you are the General Secretary of Bangladesh Economic Association. So, we believe that you travel to so many areas. And what is your understanding? Should Bangladesh take note of all these things?
Of course, we are fighting for that. We are making awareness program. This is the gatekeeping problem. Finally, if you say in a single word, this is the gatekeeping problem. Auditors are who are the gatekeepers? Gatekeepers are Securities and Exchange Commission, gatekeeper is the Central Bank, gatekeeper is the Insurance Regulatory Commission, gatekeeper is the Telecom Regulatory Commission, gatekeeper is the other institutions, independent institutions who supervises the industries under them. And in that case, if they do not do the proper work, and above all, there is another gatekeeping agency. This is the public accounting in the Parliament, Standing Committee.
I will come to the point again.
Standing Committee
I will
in the
come to
Parliament.
you again on this, regarding this point. Mr. Shazzad, so far you understand that you are very expert in forensic accounting. And about forensic, hardly people understand this. And you are also doing PhD, and very soon you are going to have PhD on this area. What it is?
Again, I would like to talk about, in some extent, about financial transparency. Actually, when you talk about financial transparency, then the governments as well as bureaucrats, nobody would like to have established proper financial transparency, this total system of their country.
Because they are the beneficiary.
Yes, both are the beneficiary. If their proper audit, proper transparency is established, then everything will be crystal clear, as I said. Forensic accounting actually extent of traditional audit as well as traditional systems that extensively dig down any financial crimes, and sometimes it's called about white collar crime. White collar crime means crime that is conducted by any influential person in the organization or country. In this case, these types of financial fraud is very sophisticated and designed in very formed way. general audit and general understanding, general policing system, general investigation system, not able to capture such kind of sophisticated fraud. In such case, forensic accountants has engaged and they have discovered that actual fact with evidence that support to the court for making the allegation.
How many experts are here there, like PhD?
Actually, in forensic accounting, as I know, there are very small number of people working on forensic accountancy. But nowadays, people are aware, as well as policymakers also aware, and the court system also would like to have some support from forensic accountants for getting actual scenario of financial crimes with proper evidence that is acceptable by court. So nowadays, there is a high demand of forensic accountants, and I hope that within many years, we will get a good number of forensic accountants in Bangladesh, beside our professional accountants, those are working in Bangladesh.
Thank you very much. Dr. Jamaluddin, what are the challenges you are facing being a chartered accountant?
Of course, many people are involved in creative accounting. Creative accounting means they are doing the accounting in an accounting formula to deceive other people. That is the creative accounting. Say for example, in the stock exchange you submit a balance sheet certified by the accountancy firm, okay? And they have got their own responsibility. Institute has prescribed lot of rules and regulation, and the corporate rules and regulations are there. Companies Act are there, Banking Companies Act is there, Security Exchange law is there. All this, bypassing all these things, whenever he does anything, this is called creative accounting. So
it's a new innovation.
Yeah, creative accounting. And in any industry, they are making loss, huge losses. But you make the balance sheet in this way that non-accountant cannot dig that out. That's why forensic accounting has come over. 2, because the forensic accounting is composed of different layers. The transaction, they create different layers. So after that, whenever you do something, money laundering you do, in that case, you create one account, all these things in a different way, artificial way, whenever you complete that, in that case, to investigate that, you need the special knowledge. General accountants, they cannot find that out. That's why forensic accounting now they are using. So this is an extension, addition. For if somebody certifies the balance sheet, and auditors, the rule is that when a balance sheet and financial statement is prepared, then it goes to the audit committee. Management prepares that. It goes to the audit committee. Audit committee certified that. It goes to the board. Then who signs that? It is signed by the preparer, auditor, and the chairman of the company, managing director, and company secretary on behalf of the company. Company secretary, managing director, one director. This is the requirement of the register of joint stock company. At the same time, it is required by the Securities and Exchange Commission and Bangladesh Bank. All the regulators, they require it. So they do it. After that, it is done by the credit rating. Why credit rating is done? Because whatever they did, accountants prepare the accounts based on sample transactions, 33%. If you do that, this is okay. But when somebody, that's why credit rating has come up. In the United developed country, in the capitalist countries, they have, this is the important requirement. S&P, and another one is Fitch, and there is another one. So they certify, when they give the rating, then this company's share value of the share increases.
In addition, their creditworthiness will be higher compared to others.
Grading is, after that, country rating is done. Standard & Poor, then Fitch, and another one.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Jamaluddin. We will come back again. Viewers, we are going for a short break. Keep watching. We are back again. We are having talks on financial transparency in Bangladesh. And our guests are Dr. Jamaluddin Ahmed and Mosttafa Shazzad Hasan. Both of them are very much expert in this line, and they are chartered accountant, and they have many, many qualities and degrees in their life, and still they are having knowledge on in different sectors. Mr. Shazzad, you are working in this field for a long time, and by this time you have contributed many things. What are the basic problems of the government in case of development areas? And there are so many problems about audits and accountings. What is your understanding?
Thank you, sir. Very good question and very relevant question for the time. Actually, in development sector is regulated by projects, government, different projects government take, like Padma Setu and other things. Actually, in project based on PPR, but unfortunately in PPR there is no provision for third party audit, independent audit, there is no provision at all. After completion of the project by themselves or government agencies take place the role of the auditor. Actually, it shouldn't be. Because
you say me and my uncles.
Actually, it shouldn't, because as I have said, auditor should be independent and there is no conflict of interest. And third one is the auditor should have the professional capacity of doing the audit, because it is a technical matter. So any government officials or somebody can conduct any audit, because there are some professional issues. There should have professional license as well as professional code of ethics. If in an audit all preconditions have met, then we will get a independent, impartial report from the auditor. Have you even get it? No. You will never get any kind of independent report whether actually the expense or expenditure have taken place in the project. It's reflect the true and fair view or not.
Is it a source of further corruption?
Yes. It actually, this system is very supportive for the
Corruption.
fraudster or the financial criminals. So we should break the process. We should rethink about the process, and we should incorporate some like that gates, as sir mentioned, that there should some gatekeeper in different ways. Otherwise, actually, people will not get the benefit of such development.
Thank you very much. Dr. Jamaluddin, you are talking about Public Accounts Committee and Public Undertaking Committee of Parliament. What are the importance?
That is the supreme authority to me under a parliamentary system. Parliamentary government works based on committee management. So is these committee members, they do not perform well. Say for the example, Public Accounts Committee, Public Undertaking Committee. We have got, I think, 52 departments, ministry. So we have got the almost 52 standing committees. Number may be increased now, I don't know, but earlier it was 52. These account member, the chairman of the committee and other members, mostly parliament members. One significant development, earlier time, it was before 1996, it was the minister was the chairman of the standing committee. So it is a conflict of interest. In 1996, they changed it, government of Sheikh Hasina. She has changed that. They have changed. At that time, I think Mr. Kibria was finance minister. Yeah. And at that time, it was changed. Then it was the from opposition also somebody can become the chairman of the standing committee. Standing committee is the supreme body. In that department, they will examine the whole process, the public accountability process, how they have done these things. So for that, the standing committee functions. Here we have got these 52 committees. They are now, I don't think the earlier time, in 1996, before that 1991, there was every committee has got report. It was published in the available during my PhD program. I visited the Parliament Library and I got those things. Public Undertaking Committee, Public Accounts Committee, I examined those. That was very nice. It
But
was
I would like to add to my sir. Actually, the standing committee and the another committee that sir have mentioned, actually, they don't rely on the financial statements that provided by the government.
Okay.
And another issue is they are based, their report, the government agencies provided is based on the statistics governed by bureaucrats and others.
This means the reliability, assurance, reliability.
If you talk about the data and the report and other things, who will certify this? By themselves? Should not be. It should be certified by
third party,
whether the financial accountants or auditors, whether the forensic accountants or any third party. But that's not taken place at all. So the fact and figures, statements, report, everything you are talking, all might be fabricated because nobody has certified this. The figure then these provided by the Bureau of Statistics, whether this figure is certified by someone, no.
Yeah, that's the important point. You see, these committees, there are other, government has created a lot of other institutions. Say for example, central bank, the banking industry and insurance industry to look after. There are insurance regulatory commission is there. Security Exchange Commission is there, Central Bank is there, Telecom regulatory body is there. They are independent body created by Act, so Act of Parliament. So that institution also not independent. They are not doing the right job.
Yeah.
Drug administration, say for example, drug administration. There are a lot of institutions, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Institute of Cost and Management Accountant, and the lot of other institutions, credit rating agencies, and then auditing firms. Then you can have the valuation firms. You make the man who is preparing the valuation firm. This is listed in the Securities and Exchange Commission. What they are making the valuation when a company, private company goes to IPO, they make the valuation. This valuation is to be certified by independent people, but this is not done. Then you have got the Airport Development Authority. If they do not comply the requirements of the international rules and regulations and local rules and regulations, in that case they are also responsible. Then Bangladesh Inland Water and Transport Authority. The name in the against the or in the organization is, if we see the authority, this means the regulatory authority. If they do not comply the rules and regulations, all rules and regulations are there. Maybe you need to update, but we
actually there are many gatekeepers. Actually, there is no check and balance at all.
These are the
so in private sector as well as the public sector.
Yes, public.
So we have regulated or formulated many things, but finally we should think about the transparency.
Yes.
Everything should be crystal clear to the nations, to the people.
You are talking about the crystal clear to the. Do you think that from the point of view of administration, I mean transfer, promotion, posting, if it is not in consonance with the transparency?
Actually, transparency and systems is depend on actually how it is run.
Application.
And actually there should have some professional interpretation in different sector. But unfortunately, we have many professionals in many capacity in Bangladesh, but in the systems they are absent. Bureaucrats and policymakers, governments, they are doing their job by their own way. In this case, I have mentioned that there is very minimal or no financial transparency in our country. Otherwise, people will not get the benefit of the total development.
But this is also true that in Bangladesh, most of the time you see the gatekeepers cannot work properly because of the persons they are sitting there. There are so many problems.
Yes, it is an interesting question. But in this case, I would like to say, you should have established some gatekeepers as well as, and there should have check and balance by another body. So it should be a chain. If anyone make any kind of financial fraud or any kind of unlawful things, then another body should be captured it. But in our country, everybody is working separately, and there is no check and balance. Like that, if anyone make any financial misconduct or any legal misconduct in a particular place, in another place he would be caught. But there is no system at all. The system is scattered. One ministry, and if you're talking about the audits, compliance and other things, all are scattered. So we should rethink about the process and establish some check and balance. And auditor should be audited by someone. As now Financial Reporting Council has formed, it is very good initiative, and our Dr. Jamal has very tremendous contribution for forming this body. It is a very good initiative, and it's very positive things that will
coming up.
Yeah. And it is actually auditor of auditors. The body will check whether auditor have conducted the job properly or not.
You are watching the watchdogs.
But if we ask you whether political men do something, is there anyone to ask them whether you have done the right things or not?
No.
Who should establish this? People should have the power to question to any policymaker, any bureaucrat, why you did it, how you did it, and actually is there any manipulation, any falsification, any false report, and any false declaration? He should be punished properly. Otherwise, system will not be benefited for people, and we will not get financial transparency in our country.
Thank you very much. We will go for a short break. Viewers, we are going for a short break and come to you very soon. We are back again to Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement, and we are having talks with Dr. Jamaluddin Ahmed, and chartered accountant, advocate, and so many things, Mr. Mosttafa Shazzad Hasan. Mr. Jamaluddin, you know very well that problems of the day is money laundering, and it is increasing day by day, and almost become the number one problem in Bangladesh economy. It was not in the past, was past in the past, it is escalating, increasing like Himalayan trends. Why?
Because of the failure of the corporate gatekeeping. It has got the economic impact on the country. And you see, internationally corporate gatekeeping resulted bank scandals. Show how powerless we are as a citizen. And lot of international these scandals happened. There are a list of 751 billion US dollars have been lost worldwide in the USA. This because of the corporate gatekeeping failure. Say Bandi Matok in India, there is in India Adani group. In Bangladesh we have got lot of groups. So it is getting in competition. Everybody, the quantity of financial losses in the absence of financial transparency and gatekeeping problem, it is increasing every day. Since independence of Bangladesh, 1972, up to 2023, the Bangladesh Economic Association has calculated one figure, and our earlier finance minister, Mr. Muhit, he said that the informal economy, size of the informal economy in Bangladesh, it ranges from 40 to 80%. It varies from sector to sector. But in average, it is now, even OECD and other countries, they have calculated that the informal economy size, Bangladesh is 32%. Total GDP, size of the GDP. So you can estimate.
It's very alarming.
This figure has come up continuous failure of the corporate governance and the cost of economy, we are paying that.
Well,
this is the people are bearing that.
Mr. Shazzad Hasan, once upon a time it was found the foreigners came to the subcontinent and they plundered our wealth, money, everything. Nowadays, we are plundering money and sending it to abroad.
Yes.
So what the difference?
Yeah, it is the formal things of money laundering, as we have discussed. Actually, we would like to say some ways how to reduce the money laundering issues and how we can make a sustainable economy for our country. First thing is, as you know, government has taken many initiatives for digital transaction, cashless society and other things. But slowly we are getting the benefit of this, but not very impressive benefit we have till date we are getting. So first thing, we should introduce proper digital currency and we should establish the environment for digital transaction. And we should have established this digital system for getting the audit trail and report of all transactions. But there are some issues that should be resolved first. First thing is, as you know, there are many laws regarding financial transaction and other things, like income tax issue and banking transaction issue and then foreign currency issue. There should be alignment between the law. Like that, some people would not like to use digital transaction because they feel fear about if I make any transaction digitally, then it will be traced.
Official record is there.
And official record is there, and in future he will be in trouble in income tax issues. So some businessmen, they would not like to prefer digital transaction till date. And in other case, there are some laws that actually government use as harassment tool of the people. It should be aligned. People said that yes, I am doing transaction and record over there. In future, if any issues come to us, and if government would like to harass me, then use such things as a harassment tool. So this fear should be removed. Otherwise, financial transaction not place, and the digital world that would like to have very soon, it is not possible.
Thank you. Dr. Jamaluddin, you were the member of the board of Bangladesh Bank. At the same time, you were the chairman of Janata Bank. What are your experiences?
My experience, if you tell me, I cannot tell every experience. But one thing is that the selection process of this board should be revised. Competent people should be put there. If they have got based on their experience. But if I put someone, he does not know how banking is a very difficult institution. It's a very complex. So you should
actually
give to them.
Particularly in our government-owned banks, those become the directors. Actually, they have treated this. It is a benefit or beneficiary position.
Yes, most of them.
Yeah, it is a privilege and it is a gift
I am a
from
director,
government. You will be
I will run everything. I am the owner.
Yeah.
I am the owner. But
Not responsibility.
To become a director of a bank, you are not the owner. Deposit holders are owner of the bank.
Yeah.
Because if you have got, say, 14,000 crore Dhaka deposit, it is depositors' money. So your paid up capital how much? Say 2,000 crore, 3,000 crore. So what is the percentage? It is less than 1 or 2%. In that case, the directors in the private sector banks, if they think that they are the owner, this is wrong perception.
Another thing I would like to say, sir, actually, when you talk about the public bank and private bank, actually there is no private bank at all.
Yeah.
Because all banks deals with public fund.
Yes.
So there is actually no difference between the public bank and private bank.
Deposit.
In both cases, the directors should be competent and should be appointed proper people over there.
Fitness must be there.
And should have a common panel of directors by Bangladesh Bank,
Interesting.
and they will be rotated in different banks, in private bank and public bank.
Interestingly, central bank appointing central bank director, there is no specified structured requirement to become a director of the central bank. I know you are the relative of the finance secretary, then you
Yes,
will be
it is a choice of government.
You
actually.
are the relative
It
of
shouldn't
some
be.
other people, then you will be director. This should not be done, because based on his expertise, experience, then he can contribute. You at the same time, another thing is that at the central bank board, most of the people are the government bureaucrats. Say, banking secretary, finance secretary, chairman NBR, then BIDS representative, then other people, independent deputy governor, 2 deputy governor, and 2 private sector person, independent director. So they have no power. At the end of the day, whenever you take any decision, they are the majority. The independent director, if they protest that, it is not useful. In that case, we should think.
Quorum is formed by same type of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. If they want to do that, and NBR chairman, he is very busy. He is very busy with NBR, so he cannot give time. I have seen that. And the other people, every ministry secretary, he is a very, very busy person. So he cannot give time here, just attendance. Then he goes out.
Then what are your
At the end of the day,
what are your suggestions?
my suggestion is that it should be reformed.
How?
It should be reformed. You should induct professionals. Induct professionals, researchers in a different way. Should be central bank board should be formed in a different way, that they can contribute, ability to contribute. You see, this is not an easy job. This is not an easy job. If you think the exchange rate policy, then reserve management policy, everything needs your expertise there. In that case, relevant expertise, you should pick that out and take out from the society and then put them there. In that way, they can give them independence to talk. And this way, central bank, I think, governor is the main chief executive. It is autocratic organization. It comes into that. My experience, 4 years experience, this is what I can say. Maybe other people can say more. Those people, someone, you keep them 10 to 12 years even. What is contribution? There is a rotation principle. 3 years after, it should be rotated. No rotation. If he listens to you, in that case, you stay there.
Thank you, Professor. Mr. Shazzad, we understand there are so many problems regarding maintenance of transparency here, from administration to management to investment, deposit, and appointment of directors. But one thing is very important that you uttered the word, that there is no difference between private and public from the standpoint of deposit the money.
The initial point of the dealings of public people,
Dealings of public
public's
people,
money.
Public's money. Money belongs to the public.
You are dealing with the public
Yeah.
money.
Public
Dealing
money.
with public
So,
money. Yeah.
then what are the suggestions?
In our chartered accountancy profession and our code of ethics and our reporting standard, there is a common sentence we are using. Auditors should have independence in mind and independence in appearance. Not only auditor, actually, for obtaining the financial transparency, people who is the gatekeeper, as I said, the financial transparency system, financial system of the country, they should have independent in mind and they should independent in their appearance. When will get these two things? When they will appointed with proper authority and they are not biased by any political choice or any, they should not have any fear of losing job, losing of support, losing of blessings of government and policymakers and higher senior bureaucrats, then he will act as independent in mind and in appearance. So, first thing is deploy the proper people with independence in mind and independence in appearance in right place. It is the first things that we should do for obtaining the financial transparency. It is very challenging.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Shazzad. Thank you very much, Dr. Jamaluddin Ahmed, and thank you very much, Chartered Accountant and Forensic Expert, Mr. Shazzad Hasan. Well, it is a time to end the talk show. Viewers, we are having talks with two very important persons in the field of finance and accounting, and both of them are very high of Bangladesh. At the same time, they feel and they have the patriotism in their mind, and they feel that still there are so many things to be done by the government or the party in power, because everything depends on the political motive, political decision. And days will come when all the anomalies and discrepancies will be over. At the same time, they are talking about the money laundering and corruption. And fantastic thing is that both of them are the same mind, that money laundering should be stopped immediately for the sake of development of the country. At the same time, Chartered Accountant Shazzad raised a question in the development field. There is no independent auditing, which is the heart of the whole things, and Department of Statistics, Bureau of Statistics, they raised the question. And Mr. Jamaluddin Ahmed for a long time is fighting for this. And his common quotation is gatekeeping, gatekeeper. Well, we learned so many things, and what they talked, what they uttered, we just passed to you. It is up to you to decide and fix our mind where we are going to. And thank you very much.